guys! Welcome to the 9th episode of Zooming In with Gen Z. I'm your host, Haley Taylor Slitz. Thanks for being here. Before we get started, I would like to remind you to please like, share, comment, follow, and subscribe. Not only does this help you stay up on our fantastic conversations, but it allows the algorithm to do its thing so others can tune in too. If you're Gen Z, stop scrolling. You need to hear this news. Can women propose? Last week, the actor Joshua Jackson appeared on The Tonight Show and shared with Jimmy Fallon that it was his wife, Jodie Turner-Smith, who popped the marriage question in their relationship.
You guys always know that you were destined, that you were going to get married?
I knew the moment she asked me.
She asked you?
She asked me, yeah. On New Year's Eve, we were in Nicaragua. It was very beautiful, incredibly romantic. We're walking down the beach, and she asked me to marry her.
She just said, will you?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, there was like a preamble. There was a lead up to it.
Did you know that it was going to happen?
I did not know, but she was quite adamant, and she was right. This is the best choice I ever made.
That's what I'm talking about, buddy. Yeah, it's
This story created a buzz across social media about the gender roles in relationships. Some felt her asking wasn't a good thing and inappropriate. Others, like myself and an opinion piece for The Grio, shared that this discussion demonstrated outdated thoughts on gender roles. In fact, for Generation Z and Generation Alpha, it is likely that who proposes marriage in a relationship will be different for every couple. What do you think about this? Drop a comment. Let's get critical. A new study of Gen Z attitudes towards current political, economic, and social issues is out. The Morning Consult survey 1,018 Gen Z members ages 13 to 24 and found out that our views are likely to be significantly different than those of the baby boomers. That's probably a good thing. Although the poll showed we have not solidified our views on significant issues, there is a large and important gap for our views on issues such as capitalism, socialism, critical race theory, and cancel culture. Yeah, sounds right. What we should be aware of here is that although we are now just reaching our early 20s, the fact that we are the most diverse generation that America has ever seen is reflected in this survey. In fact, critical race theory is seen as more positive than capitalism. Just think about that for a second. We see in the responses to this poll that our diversity has shaped our collective experiences. Compared to baby boomers, who are predominantly of European ancestry, we have a much different view of our nation and our world. Although that is great for Gen Z, we must also remember that we have work to do and shouldn't fall back on how things have been as an excuse for our own evolution as a generation. We have to keep going and make sure we create the world that we know we have to have. So really be the change you want to see in the world. We're going back to school. It's almost August already. So it's that time of year again. Just visit a Target or Walmart and you see aisles full of back to school stuff. Amazon is running an entire section on off to college. Interesting. We are also facing the uncertainty of what in-person schooling will look like this year. After being away for over a year, Gen Z is facing a generational moment that will shape our futures. Are you ready to be back in in-person schooling yet? I feel like a lot of us have gotten used to online learning and Zoom. Are you ready for the possibility that we are pushed to online classes again if needed? Like the first time COVID hit, we started in person and went right to online. It's time to think about how to plan for disruption again this year. Make sure you take time to think about how you will adapt if your school makes another mid-year change. This will be important to successfully navigating this year and protecting yourself from stress. Talk more about that later, actually. Okay, so if you were with us on our live stream, you would know that there were some technical difficulties, which I know we all have experienced during COVID. So to make that up, because I know we were all really excited for that amazing interview, we have decided to record it and share it after the live. So if you're here with us, welcome. It is interview time. Today we have a fantastic guest who is helping break down education barriers. Her own story, is powerful. Okay, she graduated high school with her Associates of Arts degree at age 16. I know. She now has her own company and focuses on helping other students succeed. I can't wait to have her company on the virtual stage. Can we all welcome Amara Leggett? I'll get it. Leggett, right?
Yep.
Okay, Amara Leggett. I got it.
It might be French. I really don't know. So some people say legit. You know, if I'm feeling fancy, I'll do that too.
Okay, I got it. I won't mess that up ever again. I got it. Okay. So, for the interview time, I know our Gen Z viewers were and still are curious about how you graduated from high school and received your AA at the same time. Can you dive into that a little?
Yes, the simple answer is dual enrollment. And the strategy I used was receiving as much dual credit as I could while I was attending my community college. And it only took me 2 years. I increased my schedule a little bit every semester, going 2 years straight, even during the summer. And after meeting all the requirements, the 60 credits and my high school requirements, I actually was presented my high school diploma from the principal because I graduated in December. And then 10 days later, I walked across the stage of my college to receive my Associate of Science degree. So
that is so cool. Did you know before high school that you wanted to do dual enrollment classes? And if not, how did you hear about that possibility? Who told you?
So there was a dual enrollment orientation in 8th grade.
Oh.
And I went there knowing that once I got to high school, I would start taking dual enrollment classes. But I was already pretty advanced in my education. I had 7 high school credits completed in middle school.
Wow.
So I had pretty much a whole year of school done. So I technically entered high school as a sophomore. And I decided I wanted to take full advantage of the time that I'm in high school and, even save me a little bit of time by doing dual credit, focusing on just college and semester based instead of school year based. So it's a great opportunity.
Fascinating. It sounds like a great opportunity. For the students, what was the biggest learning curve or hurdle that you faced during your time in dual enrollment?
That's a great question. The biggest one at the very beginning, they really didn't want to sign up students, who were freshmen in high school, sign up to take college classes. So that was the first hurdle, realizing that I kind of needed to do it on my own with the help of my mom. And we laid out what classes do I need to take because the program was open to students as young as in 7th grade in Ohio, and it still is.
Wow.
So because that program was available to those many grades, teachers and counselors really didn't want students that young to take college classes. So once I got over the hurdle of what classes to sign up for, knowing that they will pay for the classes, it's free. The next hurdle that I experienced was towards the end where I had taken a class that really didn't apply to my program. So I was technically behind on credits, even though I intended to graduate that semester.
Wow.
So we had to do a little bit of a workaround. The school was able to excuse a certain class or apply it to a requirement. And I just needed to do a bigger load of college credits my last semester. So I ended up taking 15 college credits, which was the most I had ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is a big load. Absolutely. It ended up working out.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I mean, look at you. So, I mean, after hearing that, I'm sure there are students who are listening and So for the students who are considering this option, what is the biggest thing you learned from dual enrollment, besides the class material, or maybe your favorite part about dual enrollment, a highlight, basically, of your experience?
Yeah, I would probably say the most important thing to know about dual enrollment is that you can really use the program however you want. So because I attended a community college, the classes were very flexible. I could take online classes one semester, in-person classes. I could even do blended where it's half and half. You can do Saturday classes. So that was probably my most favorite thing about dual enrollment. And it just being paid for. I got an associate's degree for free, which allowed me to, really make smart decisions about what happens after the dual enrollment program.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. I personally am a huge fan. I know that we'll probably have viewers, though, that are a little bit hesitant to actually jump into these classes. What advice do you have for them?
Great question. That's probably one of the biggest setbacks dual enrollment or students thinking about dual enrollment experience. I would probably say take it one step at a time. If you're a little hesitant to take your first college class while you're in high school, try easy classes. You can take gym, yoga classes, you can take English classes, which I would consider probably one of the easiest because once you get into algebra, trigonometry, chemistry, calculus, all of those, you may need to step it up in terms of how many hours you dedicate towards the class. But definitely, dip your toe in it, see if you like it. Some students, they dual enrollment and them just don't, mesh together well. And they just know maybe I need to wait till junior or senior year. Some of them know, I'm just going to wait till 18 and then I'll do college. The other tip that I have is to really look at what your schedule looks like and see where you can fit a class in there because you can do college sports. If you are interested in athletics at a very rigorous, getting far in education, you can do college sports. You also have opportunities for clubs and just getting farther in life, even financially as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that that's great advice. Really just know yourself, know your schedule, and take one step at a time. I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope that you guys are taking notes, honestly. I mean, I would be if I wasn't asking the question. Okay.
Right.
I mean, for real. So, can you share with like our audience, like in general, but especially the parents who may be watching, why is dual enrollment like so powerful? Like, just what is it about? Like, is it the flexibility, the opportunities? Like, what if you can pinpoint a thing? What would you say for at least parents in particular is like yeah, you should definitely consider dual enrollment because
Yeah, of course. So dual enrollment is really the smartest financial move that a student under 18 can make. And a parent supporting that student is probably, exactly what that student needs to take the leap of faith. Student loan debt is really plaguing a lot of people. And, when students are considering college, they really have to think about, do they even need college? And if they do, they should be looking at whatever opportunities are available for them to get it early, free or reduced. And, if they need to spread out the time that they are in college, we really have to start thinking about these other ways of approaching college. And one of the things that I made a agreement with myself about is once I attend college outside of high school, I need to make enough money that I could pay that student loan debt back within the first year or 2 years. So approaching that from a different perspective, that's why I chose to do dual enrollment in the first place, because I know I wanted to go for a computer science degree. I also wanted to have a head start on buying a home, saving for retirement. I wanted to have the option to retire early, run my companies, and make those successful, have more time to myself. So, I thought about all this at like 13 years old. But once I made that decision, it was a lot easier to see, okay, I'm at this dual enrollment orientation. This seems like, common sense or an opportunity of a lifetime to knock out classes and get a degree for free. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. She's been on top of it since 13. Can we take a moment to appreciate the inspiration? Okay, you mentioned companies. Dual enrollment classes are so powerful and could really impact and be so helpful to students and families everywhere if they know to take advantage of this opportunity. Like you were talking about finances, flexibility, all of it. So with having other students and families in mind, let's talk about your company, a dual enrollment company. What inspired you to start that? Was it your journey, or was there an event, somebody that you saw? Like what was it?
Yeah, so I actually have two companies. My first one is AM Legend. That's where I manage my personal brand. So once I graduated college at 16, my personal brand really took off. I had a blog at the time, so I was sharing my experiences. A lot of people were interested in it, parents, students, and educators.
Yeah.
I did a few consulting roles for colleges, so I've had the opportunity to really work in the program from all perspectives. I became a public speaker as well, so much so that in less than a year, I did a corporate speaking engagement.
Wow. Wow.
Paid corporate speaking engagement. I also released my book, The Strategic Mind of a Young Legend. Great opportunity as well for me to share the little conversations that I had with my mom at a really early age, how we approached business, building a brand, and truly, taking advantage of dual enrollment. So
Absolutely.
after all that, I realized one day I just woke up and was like, if my brand ever changes, if I change into STEM or business, being an entrepreneur, I don't want those dual enrollment blog posts to go farther down in my blog.
Yeah.
They're still very, very helpful.
Yeah.
So much so, this program has been around, much earlier than before I was born. My parent has taken dual enrollment classes or had the option to. And it will continue to go on for a really long time, maybe even after, I'm no longer on this earth. So, with that in mind, I created the dual enrollment company. I wanted it to be a hub for everything, only because there was really no one else doing dual enrollment services for students, parents, and educators with a focus on students.
Yeah.
These schools are doing orientations and creating really good programs around it, but they're really not teaching students the strategy that I have of how to be, very, very successful in the program. And there are students who are even more successful than I in terms of age when they graduate, or receiving a bachelor's degree or master's degree paid for by the time they graduate high school.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the dual enrollment company is. We have our content because, of course, our audience is students. We have our YouTube channel. It's doing very well. I'm very surprised that people search the word dual enrollment in pretty much everything. They'll search it on YouTube, on Instagram. They'll even search it in certain stores like Etsy. We have our products on there as well. Yeah, so we're trying to reach everyone because, believe it or not, I will have students message me at midnight, like, I'm interested in graduating. And that truly blew my mind because I thought only parents would want their kids to do that.
Yeah.
But students are interested in how they can graduate early. So it's just an extension of my brand, but making it, hone in on dual enrollment. What can we provide? Content, services and products, and then digital tools as well, which is what we have.
Absolutely. Wow. That's fascinating. Like, I'm just like wide eyes and awe. So you mentioned there were so many amazing things that you mentioned. You mentioned you did a book. You mentioned that you've done several speaking engagements. Like, a quick detour. How can our viewers, like, where's your book available? Like, if they want to bring you on to speak to their groups or organizations, like, where can they find you? You have a website or like, I don't know, like, you just drop that in real quick.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I appreciate that. They can purchase my book at ayounglegend.com, young, and then legend.com. You can purchase the book and also find, my speaking portfolio and experiences, and you can book me there. And then I also have consulting on there as well. And then the dual enrollment company is dualenrollment.co.
Okay. Wow. I hope you guys are taking notes. I mean, this will be recorded, so you just literally back it up, but take notes. You're going to want them later. I promise. Okay, so about these companies too, actually, several companies. How did you start them? Like, for all the viewers that are considering or wanting to start their own, like, was there a step-by-step process, or was it kind of just like dive in head first?
Yeah, that's a very great question. I'm glad you brought that up. So A.M. Legend really started as a blog and, using what resources I had, which I was 16 at the time, so I had 99 cents, and I bought a domain name. And from there, I decided to register the business because, there was money-making potential, and we wanted to funnel that in, tax-wise as a really great investment opportunity for me to grow.
Yeah.
With the dual enrollment company, of course, it was the same way. Decided to, make that a part of the business. buy the domain name. It's very easy. I feel like once you do it the first time, if you have a parent who has a business, great. If not, there's tons of resources on how to register a business in your specific state because it's by state. Usually it's the Secretary of State for, whatever state you're in. Very easy. And actually, I have another business as well. So I just registered another one. So I'm truly an entrepreneur when I say that. It gets easier with time, I will say, but there's tons of resources on how to start a business and just look to see what do you have in front of you. Do you have knowledge? Do you have products? Do you have the skills to make certain things? There's tons of opportunities out there. Even now there's Fiverr. You can put whatever you can do on Fiverr or Etsy and get started.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did mention Etsy. Another sub detour. What's it like if they want to find you? What should they search on Etsy?
So Etsy, they can search dual enrollment. The book is on there as well as the planner. We have dual enrollment apparel as well. And then we'll be putting some more like back to school products that can complement the planner.
Oh, wow. Okay. I need to find my credit card. I want to get all of these things.
Yeah, I appreciate the support. Our apparel has different stages. So if you're graduating, we have a graduate uploading sweatshirt. If dual enrollment impacted you in some way, you can have dual enrollment got me here shirt. And then we also have if you got a degree for free with scholarships, dual enrollment, anything, we have a got a degree for free t-shirt. So
oh my gosh, I love it. I hope you guys are finding ways to fit yourself in and get this like merch. Like that's great. Like I said, definitely gonna go to Etsy after this. Oh my gosh, look. Okay, so since this is a video, you guys can pause it and check out this. I think I'm going in the right direction. Like, look at this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also all those products are on the website as well.
Got it. That is fantastic. And I hope that you guys are taking notes. And if not, back it up and take notes. Okay, so next question on the agenda. What has been your biggest lesson learned as you've navigated starting these companies? Like, was there a certain thing that was like, wow, I did not expect that? Or like, maybe a favorite thing, like that was really fun. Like just what are the highlights here? Maybe a high and a low, or like best and like really learning curve.
Yeah, of course. So my favorite thing about starting these companies and just putting myself out there, building a personal brand, is the opportunities. I'm going to say most of my jobs, okay, I'll switch that. All of my jobs have come from my personal brand. Wow. Someone saw me on LinkedIn, and I am now in my 7th position. So all of my internships were offered to me. My first one was from my TED Talk. When I went on stage and came off, someone had offered me a job on my website, anlegend.com, and I only had a blog at the time. And that was my first time public speaking. That's what, kind of launched my speaking brand.
Yeah.
The other ones were offered to me by just going to an event and pitching myself, looking for internship opportunities. But what caught their eye was I gave them a business card. I told them my experience in certain industries.
Yeah.
The other one, I was a speaker at the corporation, and they said, wait, what? You apply for an internship at our company? Of course we'll give you the internship. And I switched multiple roles. I tried different areas of tech. So now the position I was offered right after graduation came from one of the internships. And now this company that I work at now offered me an opportunity for my LinkedIn.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's probably the highlight of my, businesses. A downside, I wouldn't say is a downside, maybe just a learning curve, is how to work with people. If you come from, high school, you have to learn email language and how to ask for money, how to propose certain services, how to negotiate. That's probably the biggest things. How to say what's important to you in terms of like hotels, travel. Are you going to pick me up after the event? Are you going to take me to the event? Just making sure that you are profiting in some way, getting a good experience out of it and possibly growing your brand from that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All of that makes sense. I love all of this. This is such a good conversation. So earlier, I want to kind of circle back a little bit. You had mentioned that you were like a little bit like surprised, maybe that's a strong word, but just maybe happy to see the students were reaching out to you, and it wasn't just parents who were maybe pushing their kids to navigate dual enrollment, but they also were like, I see your story, I'm interested in doing something similar. Are there common barriers that you see many students have when they first reach out to you? Like, is it like you see themes among students, or is it always like unique to the student in their experience?
No, it's pretty common. A few of the roadblocks that people experience is one, they think college is super hard.
Yeah.
Your teachers will tell you at school, college is hard, and that's why we're giving you all these homework, assignments that we want you to do every single day. So I became pretty nervous about college as well. The second thing is that they will miss out on hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to just not be at high school and be able to hang out with their friends, just be at college all the time. They will miss college sports high school sports and, clubs, anything that is related to high school socially. They feel like they will miss out on that. And the next thing that I feel what may stop people is getting to college as well. If you don't have transportation, or if you just don't even have a support system to get you through college, that's another thing. I think that's part of the reason why I find some of these students are reaching out to me on their own. They just put a message in the chat on the website. So I kind of talk them through everything. But one of the things is I try to tell them, dual enrollment it's not a set path.
Yeah.
You make it work for you, which is the beauty of the program. So if you have sports, if you have friends, then only choose classes on certain times. If that's after school and you want to be at high school the whole time, that's great. If you only want to do it on Saturdays, so you have Sundays and the rest of the week, great. If you don't have transportation, you can do online classes. You just choose a college that offers online classes. So I think that's where I kind of come in, break down all those barriers and tell them, make it work for you. You are in control. And I think that's what gets people started.
Absolutely. It's so moving to hear how supportive you are of these students and your companies, how impactful they are in these students' lives. I'm like excited, so excited. Okay, so the second point you mentioned about socialization actually really, like, for me, that hit home with me, because as an early college student myself, I get asked all the time about socialization, like all the time. People always want to know my thoughts about like missing prom and other things like those big events, like you're talking about missing hanging out with friends. Do you get asked about that, like from like personally with your experience? And if so, like how do you respond to parents or adults who are like concerned about that? Since I know we briefly discussed how you respond to students about that, but from the parents or adult side, how do you respond to people who approach you if they have about your socialization and what you missed?
Yeah, that's probably the main question that I get asked all the time. I didn't go to prom, homecoming, anything like that. I really wasn't interested in it. And personally, I only had a good experience at a certain high school. The other high school I went to really didn't make me like even being there. So what I tell those parents and educators and also students is that, I chose that path and I still don't regret it to this day, and I don't think I will. But for you, if that is important to you, don't let dual enrollment get in the way of, what makes you happy. For me, traveling the country and running my companies was what made me happy. And being in college, getting a degree, saving money. Now I feel I'm a lot more financially smart. So that stuff was fun to me. But if other students and other families value that, some families, they love prom. It is an experience for everyone. So dual enrollment should not hinder that. If you got to go to prom and you got to set up for prom and you need to cancel your college class, just email your teacher and say, I'm not available to come to class today. I have an amazing experience at my high school and I don't want to miss out on it just because I'm a college student also. That was the same way. I had to take my SAT for high school, but I was still in college. So I had to email my professor and tell him I'm not able to come. I still have high school duties. Let me know how it goes, send me notes, and let me know, what assignments I need to complete, and that's it. You are technically, when you reach college, you're adult-like. You're not adult-like, but you are adult-like. You have responsibilities to meet. People treat you like an adult. So don't let enrollment get in the way of, what you feel is important in high school.
Absolutely. It circles back to the flexibility we were talking about. Absolutely. So, focusing in on you, as we wrap up this conversation, because you are the inspiration and the brain behind everything that we've talked about. Where are you attending now? What school are you at? What's your major? We're all really interested because, you're incredible.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So in December, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in computer science at 19 years old. And I attended St. Leo University, a private school in Florida. Now I am a software engineer. So I enjoy doing that. That's the reason why I went through computer science program, an awesome experience. And I also love cybersecurity. So hopefully I plan to get into that area, but software engineering knowledge is, pretty important to mark in get into cybersecurity. And then I also run my companies. And like I said, I just started a new company as well. So just, managing my businesses, doing work full time, and really taking advantage of financial opportunities to buy a home, buy a business, any other properties. How else can I be smart about my money? How else can I invest my money? Learning about retirement accounts and investing in the stock market. Retiring early is also my goal. Hopefully it comes when it comes. But yeah, it's been a great experience since graduation.
That's amazing. Are you planning on, continuing your education, master, any graduate, or do you think that your space, your comfort zone where you're at your best is in the workforce, in your career, in your companies? Do you have an idea?
So I don't feel that I want to go back to school right now. I really don't think I will need to, just because my career at companies in tech is just a strategy to get me to where I need to be. Managing all my companies and just being, a business owner and retiring early. But anything is available and on the table. One thing I've learned is, I may have a plan, but opportunities have another plan for me. So that's how I kind of am where I am now.
Wow, guys, she's 19, okay, like a lot of us who are watching, and is already living her full best life. Okay, I really hope you guys took notes, and if not, I encourage you to take this moment right now to back up and take notes, because you're going to want to learn everything that she just said. So, this is the wrap up of our interview, but I know that I surely am not done following you and your story and talking to you, and I am fairly certain that our guests and viewers, are not either. So where can they follow you on social media and check you out? You have a Facebook, Instagram you want to drop? I know we talked about your websites and books and Etsy, but maybe social media platforms?
Yeah, of course. So on my website, you can access all our social media platforms. On Twitter, I am Amara Leggett. Instagram, a.young.legend. And then for the Instagram for the dual enrollment company is dualenrollment.co. You can also find that, on other platforms as well. LinkedIn too. That's probably my biggest platform. That's where I get the most traction. And of course, my audience is also corporate people too. They got the money. So it's been a great opportunity on LinkedIn to share my story and share with the right people. So definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you don't have a LinkedIn, make a LinkedIn account. Never too for LinkedIn.
Yep. You guys hear that? Make a LinkedIn account. It's important and it clearly works. So I hope you guys go and check her out and follow her and get her books and her merch on Etsy, because I know I am going to. And if you're curious about, like her companies, where they go, where she goes, or if you're wanting to explore dual enrollment yourself, definitely reach out to her. And if you missed how to reach out to her, back it up. That's the beauty of it not being live. Back it up. Well, I guess that concludes this amazing interview. Thank you so much, Amara, for taking time to be here with us.
Thank you for inviting me. I had a great conversation.
Yeah, it was great. Well, I know we all can't wait to see where you take your education next, or your career next, or your companies next, or whatever your next steps are in life, and how you hope others find their success too. Your work is such an inspiration, and just being in your company is inspiring in itself.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's take an early look at who's being magnified for being magnificent. The Olympic Games have been the center of many discussions over the past few weeks, as we all know. Just before the Olympics started, we watched this national discussion on our natural hair swim caps to Sha'Carri Richardson took over our social media feeds. We also prepared to watch some Black Girl Magic as many athletes were heading to Tokyo. Earlier this week, the GOAT, Simone Biles, made the correct decision to protect herself by withdrawing from the women's gymnastic team competition. She courageously made the decision after struggling on her first vault of the team competition. As with any decision that a prominent Black woman makes, her decision to protect her health and well-being has and continues to be openly attacked by many around our nation. In fact, one lawyer in Texas, Aaron Reitz, who works for indicated Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, actually tweeted the following. This is real, guys. Contrast with this are selfish, childish, national embarrassment, Simone Biles. Wow. National embarrassment, Attorney Reitz? Honestly, for a state that prides itself on supposedly being nice and cordial, Attorney Reitz demonstrated by this tweet that he never learned proper manners and when to shut up, quite frankly. Attorney Reitz did delete his original tweet and did post a fake apology once he was exposed internationally, but we all know it is insincere. Remember what Maya Angelou said. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Beyond the Texas embarrassment of Attorney Reitz, I apologize on behalf of all of Texas, let's take a moment to talk about the mental health that Black women and girls face navigating our world each day. We are constantly attacked for just existing, frankly. Simple things like our natural hair is attacked across society. Just getting up each day and making it through the day is becoming an Olympic event in a world where we're seen as problems for just being in any space. This is why what Simone Biles has done with her decision is so important. It shows the world, especially here in America, that we will not be bullied or silenced to make others feel better about our greatness. Simone once again shows us that our magic is powerful and that it is okay to use it to protect ourselves. Let's learn from Simone and realize that it is okay to protect our mental health in all environments. Part of being Black Girl Magic is understanding that we have to protect ourselves. Thank you, Simone, for showing us once again why you are the GOAT. Your Zoom call to action, you may be wondering? Learn from Simone Biles to value your mental health. Learn that it's okay to step back and take a break to protect yourself. We can't fool ourselves into believing that we're not human and don't have feelings. We are human, and we must start valuing our mental health if we expect to create the change we want in the world. Make routines and set time aside to value yourself. You deserve it. If you or someone you know needs help finding support, please reach out to organizations such as Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. Their website is full of great resources. You can visit them at www.beam.community/. So we did our Zoom in and we did our Zoom call to action. So I guess with all of that being said, I guess that's all, folks, for episode 9 of Zooming In with Gen C. Thanks so much for joining us today, backstage, and Amara. Please like, share, comment, follow, and subscribe for more. Plus, when you do that, it allows others to check out our conversations too. In 2 weeks, we will be back here at 2 p.m. Central Time with a top-notch interview and some news worth sharing. I just realized this is as I said that out loud, it's 2 weeks at 2 p.m. So, yeah, that's easy to remember, isn't it? A shout out of thanks to Citizen Ed for providing us with this platform to talk about the issues we care about. See you guys in 2 weeks at 2 p.m. All right, how do I zoom out on this thing?